Hi, Bo Hanson, and welcome to 5 Minutes with me. And this is an opportunity to chat about some stuff that really is on my mind lately. And I often make that comment, if you could sit where I sat. And we did a webinar a little while ago now, last year, where I had all of these different things that I've noticed with all of these different programs. And as you would have heard me say before, when you're working with people, it doesn't matter whether you're playing tennis or swimming or playing soccer or playing basketball, whatever your sport might be, you get people-related issues. So I wanted to share with you a fundamental that I keep coming back to, or rather, it keeps coming back to me because there's not a single program that I'm working with at the moment where the word accountability is not the number one word in everyone's vocabulary. Every coach wants it, and the challenge is still, how do we actually get it? So I thought we'd just quickly rehash a couple of fundamental things because we don't actually need to reinvent the wheel here. The reality is that accountability, we try to reframe that into how can I actually help you? How can I add value to you? What are the ways that I can help you achieve your goals? But the key word is help. And there's only one reason why I want to help. And that is because I really, really care. I really care about you because you're my team member. We've got a great relationship. And I really care about our team and the success that we're trying to achieve this year. But the accountability thing can't just be something that we talk about. When we're trying to change culture, and if we want a culture of accountability, one of the things we always got to keep in mind is that we have to work with systems, symbols, and behaviors. So a lot of the time, programs address accountability at the behavioral level. That means literally seeing something and saying something and encouraging others to do the same. And it's like giving feedback on the spot or challenging something. It's a standard that's been compromised. Do something about it, say something, address the issue. And whenever we're there and we're present as a coach, we can continually remind people, our players, student athletes, to do that. But what is a mechanism that can develop accountability for when we're not actually there? Because really that's what accountability is. I did a session recently with a team, and it is one of my favorite sessions to do because it's all about the accountability mechanism, and it relates to role clarity. We talk a lot about technical and non-technical roles. It's not enough to talk about it though. We have to create a little scorecard, and you can do this any way you like. But from my perspective, if you ask your student athletes from a non-technical viewpoint, right, using their disc profile, so if I'm a high D, what are the non-technical qualities that I have to bring to this team that are going to add value to it? It could be giving direction. It could be making sure that standards are upheld. It could be ensuring that we start and finish on time or something like that. Giving feedback, all of those things that Ds find pretty easy to do. Okay, they are my non-technical qualities. If I'm an I, it could be driving energy, being optimistic, making sure that we're playing the game as we see it, whatever the case, for the S's and the C's as well. That gets written on a piece of paper, in our performance journals if you have them. It actually gets written down, and I'm going to evaluate whether my non-technical behaviors are actually being lived on a day-to-day basis. The teams that I've been working with recently that have been doing this activity are breaking school records. They're doing extraordinary things because they're actually living it. They've written it down. They have a system in place. Systems change culture. All right, we're not just working on that behavioral level. And from a symbolic perspective, their book, they're writing it in. The way that they actually review themselves, the way they give feedback and help each other actually becomes a symbol of accountability as well. The other aspect is to talk about your technical roles. Now, if you've worked with me before, you know I ask the question, put your hand up if you're a little bit confused about exactly what your role is on this team. And you know that most of your team is going to put their hand up at least at some point. We've actually even found that people become more confused the more games that they play because strategies, tactics change. We adjust our scouting reports accordingly. People become a little confused. So what do I have to do today? But again, it's writing down from a technical perspective, the position that I play. What are the 3 or 4 critical things that I have to do well in order to execute my role? So I said I'm going to do this. This is what it means, these 3 or 4 key things. And ultimately, am I doing it? It's either a yes or it's a no. And if it's a no, it's what do I need to start doing to ensure that this role is fulfilled. But to have a conversation around that and to actually write stuff down, to create a plan, something that you can put into action. And then when you do it at practice, it's a matter of checking in after practice to say, right, how do we go with this? Get into some buddy groups, join up with 3 or 4 other people, critical relationship groups, get the forward line together, to get the back line together, the mids together, get them to all talk about what they said they were going to do, and get them to evaluate. If you want to take it to the next level, get them to give feedback to each other. What did you notice about how I performed in these areas? So it's always on my mind because you all keep bringing it up. Accountability. It's a really easy thing to say. It's not an easy thing to do, but it can be pretty simple in the essence of what it actually is and the system that you have to use to make sure that it happens. So this is a one activity. If you want to find out some more activities that we use, please just send us an email, get in touch. We all want it, but we've got to do those basic things, and we can never get bored of those fundamental and basic things in achieving accountability. So I hope that's been useful, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.